Jason Colucci on cajon. Wasn't that awesome? It's a hard act to follow, but you're going to have to try. Stand up, everybody. Let's sing something to get our juices flowing this morning. As soon as we have a piano player, I'm going to talk till we do. There we go.
When I'm down and feeling blue, Spirit's working it out. When I don't know what to do, Spirit's working it out. Ups and downs, I'll get through, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out. When I don't understand, Spirit's working it out. I know there's a master plan, Spirit's working it out. I'll just do the best I can, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Spirit, Spirit, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out. Have no fear, have no doubt, Spirit's working it out.
We got a little help up here this morning. We got Shannon. We've got Cole, right? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I suddenly thought, his name is Cole. His name is Cole, yes. Cole is over there. Shannon's right here. Let me tell you, some folks, some churches hide their kids. They hide them from the adults because the adults are so bad they don't want that behavior modeled for them. We don't. Instead, we realize that they can have a better impact on us than we can have on them, so we're going to let them help us out this morning. It's multi-gen service. We are so happy to have them here this morning, and it is, I'm going to call it as the first day of fall. Yes. Fall officially happened at 8:54 p.m. Central Standard Time last night. Yes, at precisely that moment, leaves changed colors. They began to fall from trees. Exactly that moment. But the weather sure feels nice, doesn't it? Even with the humidity and the rain, it feels nice. So I'm so glad that you're here with us to celebrate the autumnal equinox, the equality of light and darkness. And the metaphysical meaning of that, I will leave to Reverend Denise. All right? Got a few quick announcements for you today. First off, this Friday, September 28th, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. is Spirituality Unplugged with Frank Castellano. Those are always very popular events. Bring a potluck dish to share and your spiritual thoughts and questions for discussion. This Friday night, 6:30 to 9. And then Saturday, September 29th, this Saturday is Love the Land Day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So our Land Lovers Ministry, which are there any land lovers in here? There's Carolyn back there. Absolutely. There's a bunch of them. They sit on the back row because they're so tired they can't walk all the way to the front. They've been working outside, and they're just like, this is my rheumatism. Is this rheumatism? I don't know, sciatica, something. And they have a lot of fun. And so you should come out and join them this Saturday, September 29th at 9 a.m. if you want to give a little love back to the land here at Unity of Music City. And then the Saturday after that, we've got an event coming up that I don't know if maybe we've done this years and years and years ago, but we haven't done it in a long time. Saturday, October 6th, we are going to be having a Blessing of the Animals event starting at 10 a.m. Where's Amy? There's Amy. See Amy after church for some details on that, or talk to somebody who looks like they have a clue. Amy has the clue on that one, Saturday, October 6th. And then finally, I want to keep it on your radar, even though it's a ways off, almost a month. Saturday, October 20th is going to be our circulation day. It's always a fantastic day. It's one of the best days, besides our Peace Festival, that we have the opportunity to really connect with the people actually in our community, our physical neighbors. And so it's basically a big old yard sale, but no money gets exchanged. People bring what they are ready to release. And by the way, see Charlotte. Charlotte's running that show right there. People will start to bring things that week. So if you're thinking about getting rid of some stuff, hold on to it. Bring it to Circulation Day. Other people will come and take it and use it for their good. All right. I think we should stand up and sing again. Young'uns, come help us out. Woo.
When I am weary, Spirit heals me. When my heart's empty, Spirit fills me. When the light at the end of the tunnel I cannot see, just when it seems I can't go on, when I feel that I'm all alone, I surrender to an almighty power, and God heals me. When it seems I have lost connection and I forget I'm God's reflection, when my soul is in struggle with who I'm here to be, when I find that my hope is gone, through the dark clouds I see the dawn, I surrender to an almighty power, and God heals me. I surrender to an almighty power, and God heals me. I surrender to an almighty power. I surrender to an almighty power. I surrender to an almighty power, and God heals me.
Ooh, I tell you, what I love about that song, Judy, it's one of my favorites, by the way. What I love about that song is that tag. And what I always tell my students in literature class, always pay really close attention in a poem to anything that a poet repeats, right? I surrender to an almighty power. I surrender to an almighty power. I surrender to an almighty power. And every time we hit that, it means something a little bit deeper to me, just a little bit deeper. Thank you for that song, Judy. You know, there's no accident that we've been singing that song this month, because this afternoon is when we're doing our showing of the Louise Hay movie, You Can Heal Your Life. It is this afternoon at 2 o'clock. You can go grab some lunch, Come on back here at 2 o'clock. There will be a discussion to follow. This is what we've been talking about, what Reverend D's been talking about for quite a while now, what our class has been about on Wednesday night. We've got a quick video, 1 minute and 48 seconds, just a little trailer for you to watch about that. Crystal?
Maybe I should just throw myself in. When I came out of the library not knowing how to get an A in the course, I temporarily thought, maybe I should just throw myself in front of a car. It would be easier than this.
I lived in an orphanage until I was 10. The circumstances at that time were such that my father had walked out on his family, and I was born in a depression.
When I was 12, I was brought to Boston to essentially have my spine completely fused.
I grew up in a family where really you were taught that you were no good, you were worthless, nobody loved you, and nobody would love you. And when you have that belief, then life gives you those experiences.
Now, it's how do you turn that around? It starts with thinking differently.
Your willingness to contemplate yourself as a person who is capable of attracting into your life what you want, having the kind of relationships that you want, being able to have abundance where, scarcity always exists. All you have to do is begin the process by being willing to contemplate the presence of that in your life.
It's like planting a seed in the ground. It's not necessarily true at the moment, but it is something you want to have be true. And the seed will grow if it is in the right soil and it has the right amount of moisture.
So there you have it. If you'd like to plant a few rose bushes, be here this afternoon at 2 o'clock. If you like the weeds you have in your life, go on. No, I'm kidding. I'm carrying this metaphor way too far. But nonetheless, this is one of those incredible tools that you can use. So we hope that we see you this afternoon at 2 o'clock for the showing of this movie and the discussion that happens afterwards. We've been studying that on Wednesday nights in our Wednesday night class. We've got one more week. Oh, we've got Lunch Bunch. Let me talk about that first. Lunch Bunch this week at 11:30 on Wednesdays. As always, they are looking at the book Creating a World That Works for All by Sharif Abdullah. And then on Wednesday night, of course, we have our Wednesday night class, which has been focused on You Can Heal Your Life and the principles around Louise Hay's work, the very principles that are the core of this movie this afternoon. We'll have one more week of that, and then starting in October, we've got a brand new class. So if you're one of those folks who thinks you need to start at the beginning, here's another chance rolling around. You don't ever around here. But if you think you need to, we've got another opportunity coming up for you. Starting in October, a new class will begin on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock called Around the Idea of Nonviolent Communication. Whoa, that's a biggie. And let me suggest to you that violent communication does not have to include fists. Sometimes it's just intention that makes it violence. I think I'm going to be here for that one. Thanks, B.
For our sacred reading, we have some help from Brianna today.
I've heard that beliefs are the things that chart our journey. I've also heard that beliefs can change with each new experience. So stay open to possibilities. I've heard that you can heal your life. So this morning, I asked myself, what do I believe?
The affirmation, my beliefs create my world. Together, my beliefs create my world. What I believe is important in the flow of my life. So today, September 23rd, 2018, I breathe into these thoughts. I believe that we are always surrounded by love. I believe that we have the power to create our best life. I believe that at our core, we are pure love.
I believe that my thoughts become reality. I believe that it's essential to find balance and simply be present for my life. I believe that this world that I live in is a loving world, and I find evidence of that each and every day. I believe that showing up authentically and vulnerably gives others permission to do the same.
I believe that when I'm connected to my soul's purpose, life flows easily and effortlessly. And from Matthew 8:13, what you believe shall be done.
And so I ask you just to breathe into this now moment. And begin with a reset breath. Exhale first. And as you are inhaling the very Spirit of God into your lungs, asking yourself, what do I believe? And then as your breath balances between exhales and inhales, what do I believe? Do I believe about God? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about other people? What do I believe about this life that I'm living? And so in this moment, we're going to drop those few small inches right down to our heart space. We're going to breathe into our heart. And as I breathe into my heart, I say, I believe that I am always surrounded by love. Because I am divine love in expression. I believe that I am always surrounded by love. Because I am divine love in expression. I believe that I am always surrounded by love. Because I am divine love in expression. In the silence. In the silence. I feel love. I feel it all around me. I feel it from the inside, expressing out and all around me. And I say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Holy Spirit, keeper of my soul, touch me, heal me, my faith restore, from the core of my being. I keep believing in the healing power of you, as each day I love you more. Holy Spirit, keeper of my soul, touch me, heal me, my faith restore, from the core of my being. I'll keep believing in the healing power of you, as each day I love you more. As each day I love you more. As each day I love you more.
I am overcome with spirit as I grow. When the world closes in, there's one thing I know: peace and blessings are mine that I've yet to receive, all because I believe. I believe in a loving spirit who's the air that I breathe. I believe. I'm so glad that I believe. I stand amazed amazed and humbled at it all, that the God of this universe is at my beck and call. I know all that I am, and all I'll achieve is because I believe. I believe. I believe in a loving spirit who's the air that I breathe. I believe. I believe. I'm so glad that I believe. I'm so glad that I believe.
So you all just heard what I believe. Some of you know some of my story and some of you don't. But I grew up not in unity, in very fundamental belief systems. And when my calling was to become a unity minister, the first thing that happened, the very first day I ever went to ministerial school and walked in at Unity, and they had 38 of us that were going through this class together, they said, the first thing we need to tell you is you need to let go of everything you've ever believed before. Let it go. You ever tried to do that? And the second thing they did is they held a Bible up and they dropped it on the floor and they said, you need to let all that go too. I thought I was becoming a minister. What does that mean? If you believe that all the words in this Bible are exactly true, then you need to leave now, is what they said. I was like, whoa, these people are serious. And so over the 7 years of my journey to be ordained, and yes, it took me 7 years. Takes people as long as it takes, but I had to become a licensed teacher, and then I had to go through all this leadership training, and then I had to go through the ministerial path. Judy and I had, there is no telling how many conversations. And this song came out of those conversations, what I believe. Now know the beauty of unity is I never tell anybody what they need to believe. But you need to know what you believe. And so for the next minute, until I ding that bowl, tell somebody something it is that you believe about God and life and other stuff right beside you. And I hope you just scratched the surface. And I hope if you've got a lot of other questions, you might hang out with Frank on Friday night. Because a lot of times people that have a lot of questions about spirituality and all that, they meet. at those and start asking them and having conversations, not for Frank to tell you the answer, but for the answer to bubble up from inside of you. Because sometimes these are the things we don't talk to other people about because we don't know how. And so one of my dreams and visions for this spiritual community is that we can come together and have these conversations without conflict. Because I don't know about you, out in the world sometimes if I try to talk about God and life and other stuff, whoa, you know, right? So we need safe places to start talking about it, because until you hear it come out of your mouth, you don't really know what you truly believe. I'm going to say that again because some of you are looking at me like this. Until you have it come out of your mouth, until somebody asks you and you have to put words around it, then you go, oh, huh. Why is this important? Because a belief is not merely an idea the mind possesses, it is an idea that possesses the mind. Can you understand that? And so that's why beliefs are so very important, because sometimes they are those subconscious things that are riding around in the back and you don't even know. You ever had your computer be really slow and somebody said, well, you got this stuff open back here that's been running for days? Yeah, close all that. Well, the same thing happens with our mind. We have this stuff that's running, and sometimes it's been running since we were 5 or 6 or 7 years old. We had no clue. It's like, oh, well, it just keeps showing up. What's this about? It's possessed. Ooh. My mind. And I don't even know it's there. Hence why this last Wednesday night class has been so profound, because we've just been getting down and dirty about what we believe about healing. And I've not been giving answers. I've just been reading what Louise Hay said, and it doesn't matter even if you believe that. Because the bottom line is, what you believe is what's going to show up in your world. Has anybody ever told you that, other than me? I started this whole series with a lesson, a story about Jesus. And he was just kind of wandering along with some of the people, and there was a man that had leprosy that came up to him and said, I'm here for you to heal me. And so Jesus healed him, but then he said, don't go tell anybody. Just go show up. How often do we do that? How often we get a healing, but then we have to go tell somebody all about it, and then later it may recreate itself? Have you thought about that? What Jesus was saying was a very, very important thing. Don't keep talking about it. Chaplains have heard me say that 40 times. Somebody comes to me for prayer for healing. I pray for them. I don't call them the next day and say, well, is your arm still on or did it fall off? I'm just checking. Because what Unity believes about prayer and our thoughts and our words is that if I speak the truth, you may have heard an inkling of that with Louise Hay. Once I plant the seed, it's there. How many of you have ever planted a seed and then dug it up to see why it wasn't doing anything? We wouldn't do that, would we? Why are you not growing? What's the matter with you? I planted you yesterday. What's the matter with you? But we do that with this stuff because we want it to be instant. I am a divine expression of love until I'm not. Ask Judy. Not every day. Not all day long every day. But I still can affirm that, because the more I affirm that, the more that becomes my truth. And I remember it, and I go, oh, I really want to sock that person in the nose, but I am a divine expression of love, so I will refrain in this moment. Because sometimes I can remember. So, Quite interestingly this week, I've had the awesome experience of speaking to leaders in the Donaldson Hermitage area about what leadership is all about. And I talked to them about their beliefs about leadership. And then I said, and Jill, I will say don't be offended because I'm going to say something about metro schools here. That's as sweet as I can say it. This poster is up in most of the elementary classrooms. Somebody out there read it aloud for everybody to hear.
Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny.
Now that sounds really wonderful, except the person who created that left out the most important part. You want to know why I think they probably did? Because it came from that guy. And that's a little scary for people to stick out there. Because what might that be? And he's got an extra word in there. Do you see it in the beginning? That says, your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your character. And quite interestingly, when I was speaking to about 50 leaders the other day, they all said, oh, I've seen that other thing. Never seen that. Huh. Just hold that in your thoughts. Because our youth are getting ready to come up and give you a little something about all of this.
Have you ever wondered what you believe?
Believe about what?
God, life, and other stuff.
God is, I am, I think, I pray, I live.
Yeah, I know all that. And
Wait, just 1 minute. I heard what you were saying, and I need to tell you. Some of those adults out there are listening, and some of those same adults believe God is good all the time.
don't even get me started. If we're supposed to be the divine expression of God, then what about people who do bad things?
Yeah. I heard about this girl that got beat up in the school restroom today. She wasn't doing anything but minding her own business. Where's the good in that?
I don't know the answer to that one.
I know. Michelle, Miss Steph, what do you think?
Well, guys, maybe the answer is to stop trying to define God and to begin to look for signs of God, no matter what's going on around you. Let's see how many ways and in how many places we can find God.
I definitely see God in my puppy, Minnie Lou Pearl.
I see God in the trees outside. But what about the girl that got beat up? Where's the good in that?
I heard the girl that got hurt is healing because of the help she got from the doctors and nurses. That's God showing up in human form.
Oh, and I heard that the kids in her class supported her by getting her homework to her and sending her cards. Isn't that God showing up in human form, just like Miss Shell said?
Just imagine teachers and students in your own school being the very expression of God. Can you see it?
Let's finish this conversation in a different place. I think those adults out there are still listening to us.
Come on, they're obviously still listening to us.
So at this point in time, the choir is supposed to be here, but Judy Blackwelder has left the room, so somebody's going to have to go find her. There she is. There she comes.
We're professionals. Don't try this at home.
So you heard them talking about imagine. And imagine that the students at school were showing up as the very expression of God. And imagine that the doctors and nurses were showing up as the very expression of God. So take a listen to this song. You may know it. You can sing along. Tim's actually going to sign it for us, just to give us another dimension this morning. When we become what we're longing for, that is the secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. When we become what we're looking for, what we're longing for, what we want to create in our lives. If I want to create healing, I have to become the expression of healing. If I want to be a multimillionaire and throw money out at nonprofits, I have to become the expression and the vibration of that. Whatever it is my heart is longing for. You know, I started this lesson talking about my journey to become a minister. At some point in time, I had to show up as one. We have the idea, because of the way our education system is that we have to go through this journey to become it. That's not what Louise Hay talks about. At some point in time, you are going to become the vibration of what you want. And that's when it goes poof. That's very technical. Poof. I want you to hear that again. At some point, you are going to become the vibration of what you are wanting, and poof! It's that simple. We make it so very difficult. We think, oh, I've got to go through 400 years of whatever this is and dig all this stuff out. You plant the seed. You resonate with that vibrational energy, and you become that as quickly as you can resonate with that. Some of you are still looking at me like I have 4 heads and 3 tails, and that's okay. That's okay. Louise Hay says, your thoughts and beliefs of the past have created this moment. Can you hear that? This very moment, you had some thoughts and beliefs, or you wouldn't be sitting your behinds in these seats right now. So there's something that got you to this moment. It's the same thing that's going to get you to the next moment. And the next moment, and the next moment, and all the moments up until this moment. What you are now choosing to believe and think and say will create the next moment. I'm going to say that again. I want you to hear that. This is important, people. If you're wanting to change jobs, if you're unhappy in a relationship, if you need to be healed, if you need more money, whatever it is, what you are now choosing to believe and think and say will create the next moment. When you keep saying, I don't have enough, guess what? All the universe is saying is, yes, you don't have enough. Can you hear that? When you keep saying, I need to be healed, the universe is going, yes, you need to be healed. This is the hardest thing to wrap our minds around in New Thought, because we diligently try to get this. It is very difficult, again, to say, I am healed and whole and financially prosperous and blah-de-blah, whatever it is. But it's the same idea as planting a seed in the ground. You don't keep digging it up. But I say, I am the expression of love. No, I'm really not, because I'm pissed off at him over there. And the universe is going, you want to be this, you want to be this. Same thing as digging up your seed and looking at it and going, why in the world have you not grown something yet? Because you're giving mixed signals. I want you to read this out loud with me and let it resonate with you and see what happens in this moment. Your thoughts and beliefs of the past have created this moment and all the moments up to this moment. What you are now choosing to believe and think and say will create the next moment and the next day and the next month and the next year. Whoa, that's huge. That is huge. Just breathe that in for a minute. That's what heals your life. That's it. And it has to come from you. The other thing about that story that I told you of Jesus earlier is then there were some people that were there watching, and they were like, yay, he can heal people, woo! Can you imagine? And this little man kind of ran up behind him and said, hey, I saw what you did. I have a servant in my house who's sick, but you know what? I don't even want you to go. I just want you to send it to him now because I think you can. And do you know what Jesus said to him? Whatever you believe, it will be done unto you. Now that sounds a little daunting. I have people that come in my office and complain about that one. You mean I'm creating this? Yep. Now, you don't have to believe that. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to believe that. But that's the way I've healed my life. I have not been to a medical doctor in 23 years. 23 years since my youngest son was born. Now, I work it. I work it. If there's something that comes up, I read Louise Hay, I cuss, I do whatever I need to do to get through whatever that is. And then I use the affirmation. And it always works. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you this stuff works because I believed it. I believed that it was working for me, and so it does. If you don't believe it will work for you, please don't use it. Do whatever you believe in, because what you believe, that will be done unto you. That sounds a little daunting, but that's the way this law of attraction stuff works. The universe totally accepts and supports us with every thought we choose to believe and think. So you can believe anything. You can believe I have on a purple dress. That doesn't mean it's true, but you can believe it. We can believe anything we want to believe. If that is the truth, then why would we believe something less than about ourselves? Somebody sucked the air out of the room. If it is true that I can believe anything I want to believe, then why would I believe something less than about myself? Because we've been taught to. That's why I'm showing that powerful movie this afternoon, because if you notice, there were some heavy hitters. There was Carolyn Meese. There was Wayne Dyer. These people are saying, I was told as a child that I was unworthy. And I had to do my work. And that's why we've created this movie for you, to get it so that you understand that you can do it too. The power is in what? You can choose anything you want to believe right this minute. You can lay everything else down. And you can choose what you want in this now moment. So are you willing to change what you believe about yourself? That's the deal. It isn't about anybody else. They got to do their own work. So what am I willing to believe about me in this moment? Do I want to believe that I'm sick and tired? Do I want to believe that I don't have enough? What do I want to believe, and am I willing to change my mind in this moment and let go of anything else that I've held in the past? So we're going to do a reset breath. What that means is in a moment I'm going to ask you to exhale first, because I know some of you have sucked the air out of the room and you've got all kinds of nastiness on the inside right now, just sitting there going, roar. So everybody just blow out. And I'm going to ask you to keep your eyes open, and I'm going to ask you to find a place in the room that you want to focus your eyes on. Because if you were here when Brenda Julian was here, she said, you can do this with your eyes open, and it softens everything, and you begin to see things shift. So begin taking in deep breaths. And you're going to balance your breathing. And as you're balancing your breathing, I just want you to hear these words and take them in. I believe that I am always surrounded by love. I believe that I have the power to create my best life. I believe that at my core, I am pure love. I believe that it is essential to be balanced and be present for my life. I believe the world I live in is loving. I find evidence of that love every day. I believe that showing up authentically and vulnerably gives myself permission and others permission to do the same. I believe that when I'm connected to my purpose, life flows easily and effortlessly. I believe. I believe. I believe.
There have been times in my life when I have lost myself. There have been times in my life when I thought I couldn't even ask for help. But I learned how to hold on and face my fears. Listen for the voice that says I'm right here.
I believe in the power of the Spirit within. I believe.
When I look back on my life and the times I felt so all alone, faith that seemed lost is again renewed, and I find I have the strength to carry on. But somewhere inside of me a spark ignites, and I always know that everything will be alright.
I believe in the power of the Spirit within. I believe.
It is time for our sacred walk of abundance this morning. When I walked in this morning, sitting right next to that beautiful crystal bowl was a cajon player. And so I moved the beautiful crystal bowl. So we had this brilliant idea that this would cause us to remain mindful in our giving. It's a little bit dangerous when we do things the same way every time and our mind starts to detach from it. So this morning in our sacred walk, this is where you can leave your tithes, offerings, and gifts, and then pick up one of the affirmations right there. If you'll take.
They are the ones that we implanted in your mind, so the right one for you will come out of it.
That's right. I'm going to pick my right one right now. This is exactly what I need. You need to learn when to be quiet. That's what Actually, it says, I believe that I'm always surrounded by love, and I'm going to have to work on that one right now. I'm just kidding. Take your tithes, gifts, and offerings in your hand and say the offering affirmation with me, please. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life, and life gives back to me.
The time is now, our purpose is clear, our message of hope can help those in fear, in a world where hearts are broken. The language of love must be spoken. United we stand with one thought in mind, and joined together we lift humankind, singing in one voice, making one choice. We choose peace, we choose
So before I do the closing prayer, Steph and Shell, y'all come up here and let everybody acknowledge you. These women are amazing. They work with those youth every Sunday morning. And we also have, if you all want to come up here too, Tim and Brian. Because know that it's not just women that are working with your kids. We got some men doing it too, so. And you all were awesome. Absolutely awesome. That was an awesome. We also want to thank Crystal, because Crystal does crafts, crazy crafts is what she says. And she's doing them next week, but she also, bless her, does this PowerPoint every Sunday morning. So we're just going to open our hands and our hearts and our minds. And we're saying thank you, living, loving Spirit, for these tithes and offerings that have come to us today. And we're just taking this moment right now to bless them and know that they will multiply and be everything that we need and beyond. Can you feel that? Can you see that? Can you hold that resonance? And we know that whatever we put out into the universe, whether it is our beliefs, our thoughts, our words, our emotions, our actions, they come back to us. And the way that they come back to us is heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, for that's the law, and so it is. Amen.
2 quick things I need to tell you before we sing together to close this service. Number 1 is this. Remember that we have a GoFundMe account that's running right now called Throw Another Log on the Fire to work on our HVAC systems, to fully fund our HVAC systems. I am resonating with that being fully funded. What about you, Charlotte? Charlotte's all about that. If you're not on Facebook to find that the link to that, go to GoFundMe. Throw another log on the fire. Look for our purple front building out here, because that's the picture. And please help us out with that. The second thing I need to tell you is, if you do nothing else today, please make sure that you look at Shell Rattray's shoes. All right. Let's stand and sing together to close this service.
People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. The next stop that we make, oh, it's gonna be England. and tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Hey, come on, get on board the train at the station, 'cause we're gonna keep it riding, 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 riding on through. Well, 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 people all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, love train. And all of you brothers over in Africa, hey, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Don't you miss the train, don't miss it at the station, 'cause I'm gonna be sorry, I'll be sorry, sorry for you. Well, 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 people all over the world join hands, start a love train, love train. Hey, people all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, a love train.